Alright, welcome to part 2 of my newborn hidden PUL all-in-one. So now I've got my snaps put on. They are reinforced with PUL. I've got my soaker pad sewn onto my inner fabric. There you go. Just straight stitched right on there. So now you should have 3 pieces. You should have your outer piece, your inner piece, and your PUL layer. So the next step is to stitch those 3 layers together. So the first piece you want to put down is your PUL layer. You want to make sure that you put it shiny side facing down and your fabric side facing up. And then you want to take your cotton piece and you want to have that print side facing up. It's kind of hard to keep these all straight. There we go. Okay, lay that right on top. And then you want to take your inner layer and you want to lie that on top with your good side that you want touching baby's bum facing in. There's some crazy dogs going nuts outside. And you want to lie those all together. It's hard to do with one hand to keep them all straight, but basically you want to lie those all up on top of each other. You want to make sure they're nice and even around all the edges. Then you want to either pin or use paper clips, or I use paper clips because I don't like pinning through PUL. All around the outside, so you make sure that you're keeping your layers, nice and together. And then you want to straight stitch. Now, because this is an all-in-one and there is no actual pocket opening, you need to make sure that you leave yourself a decent amount of space at the top of the diaper where your snaps are, not the back. The top of the diaper. You want to make sure that you start here, go all the way around the diaper, all the way around, and then stop here. So you're leaving this space unsewed. That way you can turn it right side out when you're done. So I'll go ahead and do that and we'll come back. Okay, so I've got it stitched all the way around the outside. Remembering to leave this part open so I can flip it inside out, or right side out, sorry. The next thing you want to do is trim all your edges, making sure not to get too close, because you want to make sure that when you do turn it right side out, your wings aren't super bulky around the edges, but you don't want to go so close that it's going to start fraying through that seam that you just did. So yeah, you need to do that, and then mark where your elastics go using your pattern. So I'll do that and we'll come back. Okay, I forgot to mention something. I trimmed around the outside, but before you mark where your elastic casings are going to go, you actually want to turn it right side out. So you turn it right side out first, and then you mark where your elastic start and stop points are. So I will do that, and then I'll come back. Alright, so I've turned it right side out, and I have marked. I don't know if you can see it. It's really light, because it's very similar to the color of my pattern, or my print here. Right there. There's my start and stop. Right there. For my back, and then for my legs. Now, once you mark that, you want to straight stitch across the length between those 2 marks, leaving a space the width of your elastic. Now, up until this point, all my newborn diapers, I've used just normal 3/8 of an inch. That's how wide my elastic has been, but I've just been told that newborn diapers should actually have thinner elastic, I think 1/4 of an inch, this stuff here. So I'm going to try that with this one. Basically, you want it to be the width of your elastic, because it does stretch and get thinner as it's stretched. So this one doesn't appear to do that, but I'm going to make the casing the same width as my elastic. So I'll do that and we'll come back. Alright, so I have made my elastic casings. You probably... No, I don't think you can see it. I'll flip it. There we go, you can see that. I've made my elastic casings. And you just start at your start point and stop at your stop point. It's pretty simple. The next thing you want to do is take your elastic Measure out how much you need. The rule of thumb that I use is I measure from one point to the other point without stretching the elastic, and then half of that will be the piece that I use for that particular portion. So I'll measure from here to here, and half of that distance will be the elastic for the back. And I'll do the same thing on the leg. So without stretching the elastic, I'll measure, lie it out from here to here, and half of that will be the elastic for each leg. So once you do that, you then want to take a bodkin, or I use safety pins because it's I just find them easier. And you want to attach it to the end of your elastic, and you want to go inside that little the pocket that you made here. You want to go in there and start feeding the safety pin through, and you want to keep feeding it through until the other end of your elastic reaches a little bit beyond your stop point, and then you want to tack it down. And then once you finish that, you want to take the safety pin and continue threading it through all the way until you reach the other end. Again, pull it through a little bit so you have a little bit of overhang, and then tack that end down. And then you want to make sure that you remove that safety pin, and do not leave it in your diaper. I have done that. So yeah, make sure you take the safety pin off, and then that is done. So I'm going to do that for the two legs and the back, and I'll be right back. Actually, and then we'll go on to the last part. So there'll be a part 3.